welcome back. Today we are putting together some meals. I'll show you what I prepped up last week. To start, I'm going to be poaching some chicken. The reason for this, in this meal prep, I didn't want to do full meals. I wanted to have some bases that we could keep in the fridge and use later on. So this is relatively self-explanatory. It's just a few servings of poached chicken. So what I do is put some water into a pot, add the chicken in, and allow that to cook for around 20 minutes. Now, I'm also going to bake some CHOC granola. If you watched my last vlog, you would have seen me sort of putting this one together. I love this. We've actually become addicted to this in this household, I swear. So what we're doing is we're taking a mixing bowl and we're combining all the ingredients. It's very simple. So we've got oats, we've got half a cup of sultanas, we've got some cacao, not cocoa. I've got a little bit of Himalayan salt. I'm going to give the dry ingredients a mix before I add in 2 tablespoons of honey and some grapeseed oil. Now, I already had my oven preheating, and I've got that preheating at about 145 Celsius, which is roughly 300 Fahrenheit. Then I'm going to bake that for about 15 minutes. Next, I'm getting started on some roast veggies because I just wanted to have some in the fridge so I can just mix and match them with a meal later on. This is really simple. Like for this meal prep, I didn't want to do whole meals because I just wanted to have ingredients that I could pick from. Now, you can use whatever you like, obviously, but I decided to go for potato, sweet potato, and pumpkin. What I did is just chop them up roughly, and then I sprayed them with some cooking spray, and then I put a roast vegetable seasoning on top. You can season with whatever you like, you can use whatever vegetables you like. I just love having something handy in the fridge. Now, I usually bake these for about 40 minutes or so I had to take out the granola because that was finished. That only took 15 minutes. Turn the temperature of the oven up, and then I put the vegetables in. And now we have some turkey meatballs. Mitch likes eating these with pasta and like pasta sauce, and I love having mine with just like a side of vegetables. So they're a really easy option to whip up. Now the recipe, when I calculated the macros, I calculated it off the recipe making 16 because that's how many I usually make, but I think I made these a little bit smaller because it turned out with 18 this time. So what we're gonna do is chop up some onion and combine the onion in a bowl with a couple of eggs, some turkey mince, and about 1 cup of breadcrumbs. The type of breadcrumbs you use will alter the macros. So if you do track macros and calories and that sort of thing, I would say scan in your ingredients so you can calculate what they would make for you. And now I'm just gonna cook them on a couple of pans. You wanna make sure you're turning them over pretty regularly. Now that the chicken's done, you just want to run it under some cool water to arrest the cooking process because it is very easy to overcook chicken if you're poaching it. So make sure that stops cooking and then pour it into a bowl, and I'm literally just going to use 2 forks to shred it up, and I keep that in the fridge. And my granola had cooled, so I'm just going to put that into a jar so I can store it in the cupboard. Now we have a chicken mushroom pasta. This is a 1-pot pasta recipe. Now I like to leave a little bit of liquid in mine, which makes it more like a soup kind of thing, I guess, but you can drain it out completely if you prefer. Starting off, I am taking my onion and I'm going to put that into a pot on like a low/medium heat until the onion starts to become fragrant, and then I'm going to add everything else in. Now this is a weird combo, so hold up. There is chicken, and then I have 1 container of chicken broth, so it's 500 mils, and then I've got half a can of low-fat coconut milk. It just gives it that creamier texture. I'm gonna roughly cut up some mushrooms. I'm also adding in some garlic, and I'm gonna be throwing some green beans and some fresh basil in there as well. Now you wanna cook these on their own for around 15 minutes, and then we add the pasta in and cook for a further 10. You don't wanna overcook the chicken again. These are done, so just taking them off the heat, and I'm adding in the pasta. I calculated the macros with 60 grams of pasta per person, but of course because it's a meal prep, you're going to be dividing it up pretty roughly. Now I've got a beef vegetable skillet. Now this is a recipe base. You can put it with whatever you like. So if you want a serving of carbs, go and grab some rice and put it on the side. It's pretty versatile, but you can add to it later on. That's what we do. Again, chopping up an onion. Why is there so much onion? And now I'm taking some yellow capsicum and some green capsicum, just a whole one. We're gonna chop it up pretty roughly, throw it into a bowl, and then put it in a pan. And I forgot to chop up my garlic, so then I'm gonna go back, chop up my garlic, and put that into the pan as well. So we're just gonna cook them through until they're softer, and then I'm going to add in my beef. I like to use extra lean beef, just because I don't want my fats so much coming from my meat. I'd rather them coming from other sources. So our roast veg are ready, so I'm just going to take them out and divide them up into containers. The chicken mushroom pasta was also ready, so I'm going to divide that up. Again, you can strain out all the liquid if you want, but I think it tastes good. I have been throwing in this sweet barbecue sauce. It's low calorie, low sugar, all that sort of thing. The brand is Walden Farms. I'll link it in the blog post if you want a copy of the recipe later on. So I'm just going to mix through about 3 tablespoons worth of that. And then once that's ready, the beef skillet really doesn't take long. You just want to wait until the veggies are soft and cooked. Then you add your meat, and then once the meat is cooked, it's done. So that's what I prepped for this week. So we've got some recipe bases and a couple of full recipes because I just wanted to incorporate some fresh elements with my meal prep, because I feel like everyone thinks, you know, you have to eat the same thing all the time, and you don't. Like, you can just prep the bases, save the recipes into your MyFitnessPal or your LifeSum or whatever you want to use so that you can track the base and then add whatever fresh ingredient you want to the side. In a minute, I'll put up the recipe cards. I also have everything written out in my blog as well. So if you check the description box, I'll have links to the blog post. You can find everything on there, or you can screenshot it coming up. If you end up making any of these, I hope you enjoy. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in my next upload. Bye!